Okay, how is everyone? Back like we never left, B.D.A, and we're here to talk about One Piece chapter 1024. I know, it is really early, and the chapter isn't on break next week, so you're like, Braga, why are you doing this? You typically only do a prediction when the chapter is on break. Don't scare me like this. Don't make me think the chapter is on break. So why are you doing it? Well, I'm too excited. I'm too hype. I have so many things floating around in my brain about what's going to happen, and I didn't know a better video to make than a prediction video. So I've made prediction videos before when the chapter wasn't on break, but those were exceptional chapters, and this kind of qualifies. So here we are. I went back and reread a few chapters. I'm talking about like early chapters, 1017, all the way to 1023, just to get a grasp of, okay, what am I missing here? What hasn't happened? What did Oda set up that he really didn't follow through with yet? And there's quite a lot excluding what happened in this chapter. And I'm sure the easiest thing to do right now is to just talk about everything that happened in this chapter and what I think is going to happen from that point forward. And I'm going to do that. But first, I want to mention some of the things that we've probably forgotten since, you know, all these other things are going on. So, but first, if you're here for the first time, subscribe to the channel, because I don't want to say we do predictions all the time, but we do them pretty frequently on the channel because One Piece can be on break pretty frequently. So, you know, if you enjoy content like this, subscribe to the channel, drop a like, turn on post notifications so you do not miss an upload. And without further ado, let's talk about One Piece chapter 1024, what we think will happen. So for the past 7 or 8 chapters, 7 to 8 chapters, Oda has been keying in on the Tobi-Roppo and resolving those battles. So from Alti and Nami, all the different stuff, Page 1 and Big Mom, and then the others went through the gauntlet, right? Because most of them are pretty much defeated. But outside of that, I was reminded of a few things. One, Kinemon was hit with a Conqueror's Haki coded attack from Kaido. Kinemon was then stabbed by Kaido. And then Kaido dropped some pretty neat dialogue talking about death. And he said the problem with defeat is that few can accept it when it arrives, which something that was highlighted when Kaido first came, or when Kaido first dropped into the scene, is that he got defeated several times, right? So I wonder for Kaido, like, how does he view defeat? Because he seems to have come to terms with defeat, where he's okay with accepting it when it arrives. Some of the words that he's saying is kind of cryptic, saying few can accept it when it arrives, but that's kind of what he wants. Like, he wants to die in a glamorous way. So that was just really neat stuff to come across. And again, Kinemon, he's not dead because he has to see Momonosuke as an adult. That moment has to happen. Oda doesn't kill Kinemon before he reunites with Momonosuke, but man, he took that attack, got stabbed. This is after all the stuff that transpired with Kaido before. I don't know. It's looking rough, but he should be alive. We also can't forget the Momonosuke and Luffy stuff. Of course, now they're together and Momonosuke is about to take Luffy to Onigashima. But back then, Momonosuke was basically saying that Luffy was all right and he was far away. So people were speculating, could it be Conqueror's Haki? Could it be Observation Haki, Voice of All Things, where he was telling everyone what Luffy was thinking and how he was feeling. So Oda probably will expound upon that again, but that's something key to remember. Luffy was also knocked out, subconsciously communicating, telling Momonosuke what he was going to do, and also telling people not to give up on him. So those are some weird things that must be cleared up by the end, but I thought those were really intriguing as well. So outside of that, with the Otama stuff being wrapped up, Kaido versus Yamato continuing, and to be honest, I didn't realize how many times Sanji had actually kicked Queen. Sanji's hit Queen with a Collier strike, a rotisserie strike, and how could we forget the Moton mallet? All these things happen. I'm like, wow, Queen can take a beating. That's why he's coming up, or he's getting up saying, we are the All-Stars. We can take a beating. We are an unstoppable force, because he has been getting hit a lot, but the last time he got hit, conspicuously, he started using Haki. So did it hurt or not? Because why are you using Haki if it didn't hurt when we haven't ever seen you use Haki? A bit weird, don't you think, Queen? So putting CP0 aside, putting the fact that the Tobi-Roppo and their storylines have been wrapped up for the most part outside of X-Drake, because he has greater importance than I think the previous Tobi-Roppo ever had. Otama, she seems to be safe. What is the least interesting thing going on right now? Well, for me, I think it's Fukukuju versus Raizo. So I think Oda, wait, did he just become a helicopter? May try to resolve that first, because in order of importance, based on things going on, I think it's pretty low. Now, question I have is, where the hell is Hiyori and where the hell is Denjiro? Can you guys remember the last chapter we saw Denjiro? If you know, put it in the comment section. It's been a while. Do you guys remember the last chapter we saw Hiyori? If you remember that, put that in the comment section as well. But those two, I wonder where they are. Now, if you remember the NL chapter, you guys should know that a lot of people speculate that that was probably Hiyori healing all the scabbards. But then that made me think Hiyori has not seen Momonosuke yet. So when she sees Momonosuke, he's going to be an adult. So I wonder what her reaction will be, because that's her big little older brother. Just big brother now, right? Because he was always the big brother, but we know the story. I wonder what that reunion will be like. So based on the things that's happened in the past, it leads me to believe that the Rise on Fukukuju thing, that's going to be wrapped up pretty soon. Then you wrap up the Perospero stuff, the Jack and Inuyasha stuff, but also there are things going on outside of what happened in One Piece chapter 1023. Law and Kid versus Big Mom, Hawkins versus Killer, because Law and Kid, they're holding off a Yonko right now, while Killer, Kid's right hand, is fighting Hawkins, who has Killer's body meshed up with a voodoo doll. So if Killer tries to attack Hawkins, Kid would be hurt. Oda has to touch on that as well, because I think, again, in order of importance, it's not up there with Sanji and Zoro, and obviously not Luffy stuff, and definitely not Momonosuke stuff. I want to see Kaido see Momonosuke see him. I want to see that, because what is Kaido's response? And then Shinobu basically confirming, in my opinion, that Momonosuke looks just like Oden. What is Kaido's response then? What is Yamato's reaction? Speaking of, what's going on with them on the rooftop right now? Is she still holding her own? Because, I mean, that's wildly impressive. And then I'd mentioned previously about the Nico Robin thing, her being passed out, showing Bao Huang and someone looking at her and seeing where she is. It's been hinted at that people are going to try to apprehend Nico Robin at some point. Is this the time? Does CP0 finally try to make their move to get, again, Nico Robin, someone that the world government was after for a very long time? But with all that being said, how does One Piece chapter 1024 go? Well, again, Fukukuju and Raizo, you got to get that out of the way, because it just doesn't match up with the other things. Again, the battle of ideals, I appreciate, I respect, doesn't match up. Yamato and Kaido, we could see a conclusion to that, because Luffy and Momonosuke, they are ready. That may be the end of the chapter, showing that Luffy and them finally getting to that stage, sprinkling in bits and pieces of the Jack versus Inuyasha, Nekomamushi versus Perospero. I wonder if he tries to explain himself again, like, I did not do anything, he killed himself, he tried to attack my mother's territory after trying to steal a poneglyph, got his life taken away. What do you want me to do? I have to defend my mom. Does Carrot get any focus, any importance? Because, I mean, you know what? Let's just not even talk about Carrot, because right now she isn't doing anything. Like, she hasn't done anything in a while. But in regards to the things people really want to see, Zoro versus King, Sanji versus Queen, I think Oda's going to hold off on that a bit. Because, again, importance, it's up there with Luffy and Kaido and stuff. I do think you have to give us some more Luffy, just setting up that final battle, maybe some more dialogue from Momonosuke, seeing his thought process now, because now he's an adult. He's 28 years old. He's older than Luffy, older than Zoro. Technically, Shinobu said he hasn't matured, but his brain has aged. And as your brain ages, certain things, decision-making, that should be better. So it's interesting how the biology of all this is going to work, but we should see a more mature Momonosuke than we've ever seen before. But of course, he's still going to be childish, because those experiences, it may be close to flashback time, getting some Kaido flashback, Yamato flashback, because I think that probably should happen before that final battle. But get Fukukuju and Raizo out of here. Not saying it's a terrible fight. I love flying earlobes, right? But I think at this point, it's, you know, like, let's get past it. I'm ready for the Scabbards to be out of this. Take care of what y'all got to take care of off screen. Show us the end of it like you normally do for other fights. But for this one, show us the end of it. The others we can see. I think it's X-Drake time. Show us some X-Drake, because it's been a while. Him and Apu, just show us some update. The Tobiropo, they've all been resolved. That's that one that's lingering. Now, it's weird to call him a Tobiropo, because we know he is a Marine and we know the significance of that. And, you know, something that's been floating around, I'm not gonna make an entire video about it, but it's funny, right? It's a picture of Ushimaru and his back is turned and he has a green ox or bull on his back, and people are like, oh my God, that's Green Bull. And, you know, I can't think of a plausible way for this to make sense, but I think it's funny that people are actually willing to believe this, because, I mean, it's cool. It'd be really dope if Zoro's predicted father or relative is a Navy admiral, like with Sanji's dad. He was a former king of the German kingdom. I mean, because the German kingdom isn't really a kingdom anymore. And then Luffy's dad, he is the leader of the Revolutionary Army. So like people in high places. I don't know. I'm not going there. I don't think it is at all. I just think it's really fun to just start conspiracy theories. So I'm just going to put it up and just show you guys again. But guys, what do you think happens in chapter 1024? One of the more anticipated chapters, because 1023 blew us away. So of course we're going to have expectations now, right? So Oda, I don't think he's going to disappoint at all. So I'm really excited. Guys, give me thoughts though. What do you think happens? Give me your predictions. I always appreciate them. Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BragoD.Ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate all you guys oh so much. Guys, again, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
okay. I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.